All right, let's see what do we get after importing our first flight. Here you can see 3 buttons, 3D, IR, and RGB, which basically you can enable or disable RGB video, infrared, and 3D point cloud. Anytime you can click on them and enable or disable them. Okay, I disabled the 3D for now. For an infrared camera, we have an overlay of infrared on top of the RGB video. Here you can increase or decrease the opacity depending on what you want to see more. And if you find it's misaligned, you can use these arrow keys to move it slightly to the up, down, left, right to perfectly align it on the video. Okay, and here you can see the minimum and maximum temperature of the environment on the image with this indicator. Okay, I click on the 3D and you can see the point cloud here. Here you can see the number of points in the point cloud, which is around 6 million. You can see the spacing, greater spacing. Basically, this is 5 meters. And we are in the camera mode. We will come back to that later. But if we click on the 3D map, you will see this pop-up menu. Here, basically, you can modify the way point cloud is being displayed. The first parameter is point size. You can make the point size a little bit. I will disable the RGB. You can make it larger or smaller. You can also change the color of the background. You can resize the world coordinate, which is the first frame that the camera started, or basically the place that we started the flight. Then we have the camera size, where we can adjust the frustum of the camera, which is representing the drone in the environment. Then we have cloud opacity. Cloud opacity basically make it how lucid is the point cloud. So I can go all the way to the right, or I can make it transparent. I have to warn you that enabling cloud opacity is a heavy operation on your GPU. So if you don't have a very robust GPU, you better to completely go to the right and disable it. Otherwise, it will be a heavy process on your machine. But if you have a good GPU, you can enable it and make it lucid and transparent so you can see the trajectory as well. Then we have a measurement unit where you can change scale of measurement in meter, centimeter, inch, and foot. We will come back to that later, but for now we can see when I change into the inches, you will see the grid size will change. I switch back to the meter. All right. I have a parameter for point cloud filtering, which is the start and the end of the flight, which is for 3 minutes. Here, as you can see, there's a red overlay on the main timeline. I can move the timeline indicator forward and set the start here, and I can do it same for the end, and then click on the filter. And now you will only see this part of the point cloud from this time to this time. The yellow indicator is indicator for RGB, while the red one, which is overlaid, is representing the point cloud. So this comes useful when you start your flight outside of the chamber, and then you, after 1 minute, you go inside of the chamber. And you want to get rid of the first part of the flight because it's useless data. So here you can easily, based on the time, you can filter it. You can click on the reset button to go to the start and end of the flight, and then click on the filter again to get your point cloud back from start to the end. Okay, here you have a trajectory where you can click on that, and then you can enable or disable the trajectory, which is a flight path of your drone. Here they have a help button where you can also press F1 to get help about the shortcuts, about what you see here. So very short, the colors that you see here is a height map. So the points that are lower have a colder color, and the points that are higher, they have a higher temperature. You can actually change a profile. You can go to view color map and change it, for instance, to spring or plasma or jet. Okay, now we go to the main RGB. Here you have the standard timeline where we can go back and forth. Here we have, since we are using a fisheye lens, the straight line seems a little bit curvy. If I click on the lens distortion, I can make this straight line straight again. Here we have two widgets, which basically shows the attitude and the orientation of the drone, basically the camera during the flight. So if you go back and forth, you can see the orientation. Here we have Gizmo widget, which shows the main axis. Here we have the toolbar for measurement, which we will visit it later. And here we have our flights, where we can switch between them, or we can add a point of interest. In the next video, I will explain what is a point of interest and how we can add them and what can we do with them.